So we have Brandon's 2015 GTI here, and this is the one getting the FR450 kit on it. It's got a bunch of other goodies there that we have to install as well. This is actually getting a limited slip diff installed right into the transmission. It's not an add-on, so that's what we're starting with. Actually, we're going to pull the transmission out, start working on that, then put it back together, and then go to the turbo route and start with that build. So we're going to start now. We're probably just going to about ready to drop the transmission, and then we'll start going into the turbo.
Cause I'm about to break down, searching for a way out. I'm a liar, I'm a cheater, I'm a non-believer. I'm a popular monster. I break down, falling into love, and now we're falling apart. I'm a popular monster.
Out with the old, in with the new. We've got the old IS-20 out of this GTI, and we're putting the IS-30 hybrid 450 in it. Now, if we go back, look what we found with this factory turbo. Look at the play in that wastegate compared to the new one. There's nothing. There's nice and smooth movement. So that's another issue you have to watch out with these old IS-20s and IS-38s, the IHIs. They have bearing issues over time, as well as the wastegates wear. The bushing inside here seems to wear on them. So let's get this new one in. So we're just sliding in the IS-38 hybrid turbo in now, and usually we do these from the top, but seeing that, you know, we got the transmission out, no use taking the top part out as well. But let's see, that slipped in pretty easy. You have enough out of the way here. So your downpipe's gone, exhaust's gone, transmission's gone, so you can kind of just squeeze it up into there. So that's in. Now we're gonna put all the bolts in, put all the lines in, and then we'll go on to doing the clutch, so it's ready for the transmission to go back in, downpipe, exhaust, and then intercooler. So we're gonna keep working on this. So we got the high pressure pump here. I'm gonna pull this factory one out. There you go. We got the HPA aftermarket one here. I'm gonna lube up that seal. So you see the roller that runs off the end of the cam stays in place. You just put this one in. Now there is a little notch, there it goes. You gotta try to, because I don't have this line right out, you just have to kind of move it in place as you put it on. There you go. 2 triple squares. fuel pumps installed. Just got to tighten that flare nut, put in this top plug, and your high pressure fuel pump, upgraded high pressure fuel pump installed. Just want to take a couple minutes here to look at this turbo. So that is the IS38 hybrid from HPA Motorsports, which will be running the FR450. If you notice, even the connections on it, they're all factory. And that's what makes them different than a lot of the other turbos, aftermarket turbos that are out there. I've done some where I've replaced some that have had another aftermarket turbo in, and then going back to the original, you got to replace all the lines again, put all the factory Volkswagen lines on, and it becomes costly. Well, that's what's nice with this turbo. It uses all the factory fittings. So your oil and coolant supply and return lines, they bolt in. They use the same O-rings. Even that top guard, or it's a heat shield right there, it's bolted in place right on the turbo, like an original one, and you can't tell any different. So that's what's nice about these builds, about the HPA stuff, that it's direct bolt in, and everything from factory works with it. So we're going to keep going on this, hopefully get it back our transmission soon, that we're getting the LSD installed on, and we're going to now put it up and get going on the downpipe and put the exhaust in place, and hopefully by then we can start putting our clutch on and our transmission in place and move on to the intercooler. Just finishing up with installing the clutch. That's in place. This customer sourced his own. He wanted to go with the Sachs Performance, which still keeps the dual mass flywheel. He wanted that. He didn't want to go to a single mass. So we just got that in, and we're just prepping the exhaust now. In here, we got the downpipe in, that's just in place on the turbo. Nothing's tightened down now, so we're adjusting everything, and we're gonna work our way back here to install the rest of the exhaust. So this customer as well purchased his own exhaust from ECS. It's a nice clean fitting exhaust, and it's valved right through, and it meets up nice with the HPA downpipe there. So we got it all mocked up, and then once we have the engine all supported again with the transmission in, we'll tighten everything up, make sure fitment's nice around the valance here with these exhaust tips, and we can go on to the next step. So this one's coming along pretty quick. It's going together nicely, and just can't wait to drive it when it's done. We're just putting it back together now. Got the LSD installed inside the transmission. It was a nice Peloquin kit, came with all the bearings and everything, so it bolted right in. So now we're just putting it back together. Once we get that in, then we can set everything in place. There's a new lower solid dog bone mount that has to go in, and then we can tighten up all the exhaust, and we can start on the intercooler. So we're getting close to the end of Brandon's project here. The intercooler, HP intercooler, is already in place. It's behind the radiator here. You kind of see the inlet and the outlet poking out there, aluminum flanges. We're just gonna now drop in the fans As I mentioned before in other videos, with these Mark 7s, everything's clips. There's no bolts or anything like that to put the radiator, the rad fan assembly, or even the intercooler. But the way HPA's made the intercooler, they clip together like factory, and they're nice and tight. So we're gonna put this together, put the battery tray and the battery back in, button all the hoses up, and we're gonna get power to it and send off a read to HPA so we can start working on the stage 3 tune. So that's where we are for now. So we'll just keep working at this. So we got it all together. Kind of didn't record much since we put the intercooler in, but it's all back together. We're just now connecting the vacuum line to a boost tap so this customer can run his valved ECS exhaust. So it's actually a really nice kit from ECS. It gives you everything you need to put this boost cap in off of the intake. So we're going to run this vacuum line right into there, and then it's going to go to a valve in the trunk. Here's the receiver, and what's going to happen is we're going to run the power for this off the 12 volts outlet that's in the trunk. And then once we can do that, then we'll put our as well as our switching valve right back there, which is right here. So we'll run this vacuum line right through the underneath of the car into the trunk, where we'll mount this valve, and then he has it electronically controlled, so he can switch that valve open and close himself, instead of totally relying on boost opening and closing that exhaust valve. So that's what we're doing now. We'll start going on that. FR450 GTI done. Really nice, clean car. All back. We also installed a set of mooring springs for the customer, and we put the Euro tails on. Which looks really sharp on there. This customer supplied his own ECS Cat-back valve exhaust that we installed with the electronic open and close on a keychain. Sounds really good. It pulls really hard, easy to control, even though it's just a front wheel drive. But we also installed a Peloquin LSD in it, which makes the control even easier and the grip a lot nicer. That's it. Now let's look under the hood. We can all put back together. There it is. He requested integrated engineering intake. Colorado. Sounds like a regular GTI. But once it hits boost, it's not regular anymore. So we're going to hand this off to Brandon and see how he likes it. First drive. There you go.
so controllable.
It is.
It's so fast.
All right, don't stall, don't stall. Good man. Another happy customer.